Attorney General's gun buyback program aims to curb gun crime, but one man claims he made guns on a 3D printer for the sole purpose of selling them at Utica's buyback event. As News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris reports, he walked away with $21,000 in taxpayer money.
You've got to be a special kind of person to think that these buybacks are somehow beneficial. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms for NRA certification and multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And let's talk about this. If you remember, I did a video on a man in Houston at a gun buyback program who turned in a bunch of 3D printed guns and cashed out somewhere in the vicinity of $3,000. Well, someone else has taken the reins on this ideal, and at a gun buyback in Utica, New York, a man turned in something in the vicinity of 110 guns, all 3D printed, and got $21,000 for them. Wow. So well, okay, let's go ahead and watch that video just to get the context, and then we'll come back.
Attorney General's gun buyback program aims to curb gun crime, but one man claims he made guns on a 3D printer for the sole purpose of selling them at Utica's buyback event. As News Channel 2's Jolene Ferris reports, he walked away with $21,000 in taxpayer money.
You heard that and you saw that. You know, Letitia James is a phenomenon. And it's interesting how she is doing this gun buyback program right before her election cycle, which she is actually in the polls losing. So this is nothing more than a stunt for her to get her ratings up. But let's go over here to this article from the same News Channel 2. And this is a very interesting. But Utica, New York, it's been updated. A man who identified himself only as Kem saw people tweeting about using 3D printers to make guns for the sole purpose of selling them for big bucks at gun buyback programs, like the one the New York State Attorney General's office held at the Utica Police Department last month. He got to work on a $200 3D printer he got for Christmas. Quote, I 3D printed a bunch of low receivers and frames for different kinds of firearms, said Kem. Then he drove 6 hours to Utica. In the end, he made out because the 6-hour drive was nothing compared to what he came back with. But, and he sees the tote and says, how many firearms do you have? And I said, 110, said Kem. This began haggling and negotiating session with the Attorney General's office staff that lasted all day long. And it ended with the guy and the lady from the budget office finally coming around with the 42 gift cards and counting them in front of me, said Kem. $21,000 in $500 gift cards. What an absolute waste of taxpayer money. But then again, these gun buyback programs are always just a waste of money. Okay, a few weeks ago, and you heard this in the video, News Channel 2 contacted the State Attorney General's office asking if they knew this might be happening. They didn't answer the question, responding only that the Utica gun buyback was a big success and that the program in general kept New York families safe. That is a bunch of rubbish. What happens at these gun buybacks, people just turn in junk. Junky firearms that they aren't using anymore, or heirlooms, hand-me-downs, whatever it may be, and they turn them in for money. Okay, that is not, why anyone would think that that would actually somehow just diminish the gun crime that they're having. It's unbelievable. But I'm sure handing over $21,000 in gift cards to some punk kid after getting a bunch of plastic junk was a rousing success, laughed Kem. Gun buybacks are a fantastic way of showing, number one, that your policies don't work, and number two, you're creating perverse demand. You're causing people to show up at these events, and they don't actually reduce crime whatsoever. Boom. Boom. Okay? And then you heard the statement coming from the Attorney General's office, which means they have to spin it. They have no choice whatsoever. They got to put a spin on it. This is becoming an issue where people are just taking advantage of these gun buybacks, which are stupid to start with. Instead of just buying junk guns from people, and people like this who are taking advantage of it, and I can't blame them. Yay, capitalism. You know what? If you're going to pay me for some crap, I have no problem with it. But the only way to reduce gun crime and crime and violence in general is to start handing down harsh penalties for people who violate the law. That's it. Once these criminals start realizing that, damn, there's going to be some real consequences to what I am doing, they will stop. But that's the problem. We've gotten into this whole new, especially New York. And if you remember, during COVID, New York had bail-free releases and releasing violent people right back into the communities, and they were just going back to their old trade of just committing crime. And other people were killed, other people were harmed because of it. Now they think that going out and buying guns from people who probably, most of them probably didn't commit any crimes whatsoever, but hey, here's a way for me to make a few bucks. It can't be translated into an effective method to reduce violence. Congratulations to Kim. This is going to keep on happening. We're keep wasting millions of taxpayer dollars on stupidity. Absolute stupidity. Hey, let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or statements that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.